Well, that's not noisy at all. Good morning. It is. I had a false start there. Wait for everyone to get caught up. Whatever's. I did the wrong thingamajig. So, and Cynthia's computer is fixed. That's great. Let me copy this. Good morning. Hey, Brian, you're up early. Good morning, man. I have to fix something because I broke something. So I might as well just do this. Good morning. It is 10:01 Monday, 2/26/2024. 26. We're almost into January, February, March. We're almost marching into the future with the time change. I think that's this weekend. I hate that spring forward crap. Okay, let's go. All right. Good morning, Amy. Good morning. X'd up. X up. I love it. X'd up. X up if you're here. I love that shit. X up, X up, X up. That's because I was doing stuff in games where it's like, hey, X up if you want to go do this. X up if you want to go do that. X up if you want to do this group. Stuff like that. So good morning, everybody. Somebody had something. Hold on, I gotta do the pop out chat again because I can see it better that way. Okay, let's mute the web and let's grab this. Pop out. There we go. Popped out. It's popped out now. I wanted to go to this though. All right, I have a new little scene here, as you can see, as you have seen. Okay, and then let me get this set up. So I hope everyone's doing good. It's Monday, the furniture selling day. Good morning, brother. Good morning, Vietnam! I mean, Radio Vietnam. No one's going to get that radio part. Radio Vietnam. I'll have to explain it. There's a place called Bayou Den, which means the end. And nothing good happens there, I promise you. And Travis and I have a friend named Deaton. Also, we call his nickname is Shakes, and he visited our hometown one time and drove over when they were driving over the bridge. He saw the lights from the plants, the refineries, and he was like, "Man, y'all really go all out for Christmas here." Like, nah, dude, those are chemical plants. Which we thought was funny. And then when we drove into Bayou Den, or drove around Bayou Den, he was like, what in the actual fuck is going on here? This is the most white trash, trailer trash shit I've ever seen in my life. Like, Deliverance style. Type shit. So, hey, Whitney. Hey, Hans Christian Swartz. Good morning. Good late afternoon, Marcus. Well, excuse me. I am in Central Time Zone. It's 10 a.m. here. Um, you ever think about it's always it's always sometime somewhere deep thoughts in the morning because you know what's the time? Yeah, I consider when I'm waking up morning. So, good morning, Hans. And afternoon to you. Uh, Lorna was just thinking about going to sleep. Were you up all night? Are you having some insomnia? Hmm? That's no good, no bueno. You know what I do, what I try to do. I'm not 100% successful in it, but I go for walks. And they help me like my body be like, "Hey, you do need to sleep." I spend a lot of time here in the studio. Um, so sitting in this very comfortable recliner that I got in 2015 for $50. Uh, I can probably yeah, I can switch the camera around. And have you guys seen the studio? Um, all of this stuff I somehow kept track of or acquired. Some of it was most of it was given to me. This TV Cynthia bought uh, because my old monitor went out. Uh, but if you want to see the studio X up, I'll flip the camera around and show you. Otherwise, we'll go back to chat here. Deliverance, yes, yes, yes. Scrolling back up. Brian's up early. I can't believe you're up this early. Were you up all night too? Is everybody up all night? I was up till 3:30. Um, Now I'm gonna have to Google translate some shit. Aaron hat sich einen ab. I'm gonna butcher this. Abgebrochen. Get. I don't know if it's gestern or gestern. Gestern would be my guess. Uh, yeah, Bayou Den is very much deliverance style, and they're not shy either. What you doing in my waters? Hmm. Um. Oh man, I had a busy day yesterday in the studio. Oh shit. Got some heartburn too. Need to grab. I need one of those grabby things. The little long range grabbers. Uh, Hold on. I can do this. Oh no. If I've got the hiccups, I'm gonna have to get peanut butter. Hmm. All right, Lorna. Good morning again. Good morning, Sophia. Um. Okay, so the translation. Wait a minute. No, your PCP is fucking with your meds, Lorna. Ah, okay. That sucks. Yeah. I have an appointment tomorrow with my psychiatrist, so I don't know what the deal is. I just took my meds this morning. Um, I've got a script that I need to go pick up. Propranolol. I'm not liking this noise gate still, so I'm gonna I'm going to cut that off. There we go. The noise gate, it's just like, it's bothersome to me. That's better. Okay. So I had an explanation here about the hat sich einen abgebrochen gestern. Do do do. 8 in the mofo morning out here in the West Coast. You've been up all night. Yeah. Well, if you want to hang in, it's cool. If not, get you some rest, Take care of yourself first. You can always watch later. It's a different time right now all over the world. Yes. Cynthia's computer is working again. It was out of commission since last Thursday. She hasn't been able to work. It's been driving her crazy. So, yeah. If you want to come in and do a Tina dance, you're more than welcome to. I can show that off with the studio. Oh, just the board part, not the whole thing, but I like your board. Nice board, dude. Yeah, well, I could show you the rest. So, grab this. Let me flip it around. So this is the task cam. I call it the trash can. DM3200. And I can use it, to mute myself. Hear anything that tape, bop, do. And it's got faders. I can slowly bring it down. Hear anything. All of these are labeled, those are the channels I can use. Here's the microphone. Here's the interface. Here's the panels that my friend Rick donated to me after the hurricane, and his friend who moved to Nashville was like, I'm leaving. I'm not staying through another hurricane. And there's my main screen. Got a bit of a time paradox. Look how far it goes. Yeah, and then up here, that's Wilma Faye. That was my grandfather's partner. Back there, I got pictures of some of my bandmates on the wall, and my cousin Bradley, who was murdered in Bayou Den, shot in the head. Yeah, it's not a place you want to be. Ding. I have an appointment. Oh, look, it's telling me. You have an appointment. Tomorrow. Thanks, Whitney. Yeah, no, I used to rock 7 monitors at one point. So I could work, play, work, talk to all the people that I worked with, talk to all the people that I played with, and then have a private. I had a laptop that was 7th screen. Damn it, now okay, here we go. Oh yeah, it says craps on it. The board says craps. Do your own research with craps. Centers for Research Against Proven Science. That was something. That was a Mardi Gras throw here during right after COVID. The first the first parade after COVID. Whitney, I agree 100%. Can never have enough monitors. In fact, I tried to slap 2 GPUs in there, but one of them, you got to get 2 of the same usually. It just doesn't. Back a couple years ago, I was able to when I had a career, I was able to pick up cheap or free GPUs because we had all these maintenance contracts. So I would throw cards into my machine and be like, okay, is this going to work? All right, cool. I got two of these. So I would, yeah, that's how I got the 7 monitors. There's a picture of it somewhere. It's massive. I had 4 corners, a center, a server monitor with a 8-foot rack, my laptop, and then one above. So I had 2 mains. There was one kind of angled, tilted down. Crew de Vue made that sticker. Craps, Centers for Research Against Proven Science. It's a joke, right? Do your own research with Craps, Centers for Research Against Proven Science. The Earth is flat. COVID isn't real. Stuff like that. Do your own research. Do your own research, man. Figure it out for real. All right, so I gotta scroll back up and read what this translation is. Marcus, we are talking about how Aaron took some tries at pronouncing Makmirdikogao, tongue twisting incoming. Did I say it better than him? I've tried to get Sophia to get me to pronounce it properly in Discord. Look, Lauren, just hang in there. You're a survivor, so it sucks. It feels like just getting tossed around. You know, one thing I could say is like advocating hard for yourself can have good results, but it can also have bad results. So, you know, discretion is the better part of valor in that instance or situation. If you feel like you can hard advocate for yourself to your doctor, then, you know, without them feeling like they're threatened, because honestly, a lot of times we know more about what's going on than our doctors do, but we don't speak the same language. They have their own little loaded language. Yeah, it's solid state, Whitney. 2 integrated circuits. It's not as fancy as it sounds, but they're the 4K integrated circuits from the old consoles. So like when I press this, now there's a little more 4 kilohertz in the integrated circuit. This is with it, and this is without it. So it just kind of makes it a little more crisp. Can never have enough GPUs either. Yeah, so, you know, this setup, almost all of it, like, I can't afford this shit. I haven't been able to afford nothing for years. So the coffee stuff has really been helpful because it's some income. So thank y'all for all of that. Every little bit helps. The board was donated by one of the other studios that got destroyed in Sulphur. The monitors are still old leftovers from... Actually, no, they're not from Webtronics. They're from a training school that a friend of mine... there was like 18 Optiplex 390s, i3s. And he was like, these are all going in the trash if no one picks them up. I'm like, to hell, they're not going in the trash? No, I'll go get them. So I went and picked them all up. Donated probably 3/4 of them to the radio station here, WHIV New Orleans, for use in archival databasing. Good morning, Blues. Good morning. It's Monday, 10:20 Central Standard Time, 2/26/24. What do you take propranolol for? I take it for spasms and anger. I take it for it's cardiovascular related. So, okay. So my symptoms of PTSD, or life, whatever, everyone's got it. But my limbic system gets hyper vigilant. So it keeps my blood pressure at a baseline. It's kept everything at a baseline. It's a beta blocker, so that's what I take it for. The other medication that I take that I would like to get off of, but you can't just quit over, you have to do it over time, is the clonazepam, and I take it for off-label, which is it's a recommended off-label for HPPD. The other, the more exotic thing that I have, which is hallucination, perception, persisting disorder. And what it does is it's an anxiolytic. It's normally for anxiety. And I don't necessarily have anxiety. Well, I'm taking fucking clonazepam, so no, I don't have anxiety. But it also lessens the severity of the hallucinations. The downside, which all the drugs have, is that if I stop taking it, even at a gradient, slowly stop taking it, I will experience heightened symptoms of why I'm originally taking it. So, in Munich, it is 1,721 hours. Well, what's the weather like in Munich? Is it pretty? I imagine it's cold, but I could be wrong. Cold and sunny in Munich? Bum, 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 bum. Blues, is that something you will have to take the rest of your life? I don't know. We're working on that not being the case because there's long-term side effects to taking clonazepam. Propranolol isn't that big of a deal, but the clonazepam can be, and I stay on the lowest dose possible, and I count my fucking pills, and because when I was going through my divorce and the Scientology crap, and by that I mean the process of leaving takes a long time. The experts on the subject say, 10 years minimum. And I'd say that's about right. Takes a long time to deprogram. But if you haven't started, then it can take longer. Like if you've left and you're still not in therapy or something, which so many people aren't, or haven't even talked to anybody, then it could last 20 years, 30 years, the rest of your life. I've met and talked, well, I haven't actually face-to-face met, but I've got some friends that I've met through this avenue, this channel, who didn't do any, post cult recovery. And yeah, so like it hits really hard when you don't, and you just suddenly are like, yeah, to use a Scientology term, blown out. Good morning, Lydia. It's been a while. Good morning. It's February 26th, 10:25 a.m. CST. It's 6 degrees Celsius, kind of beautiful sunset, and looking like spring wants to come sooner rather than later. We had rain 3 days ago. Hell yeah. I don't know what 3 degrees Celsius is in Fahrenheit because, y'all use weird shit like metric and Celsius. And, no, I'm kidding. It makes more sense than what we use. I mean, a foot, right? It was based on a king's foot. It's kind of hilarious to me that, the United States and this whole union that started from not wanting to pay a 2% T tax is still keeping traditions from, and I mean really holding onto them hard. They even do science and math and shit with this. So I just find that funny. Lorna, I've taken alprazolam for 35 years. I could lower the dosage, but never get rid of it with my agoraphobia and panic and OCD. In short, I'm a nervous wreck inherited from my mom's side of the family. And that's the part of that kind of freaks me out, because my mother has, up until recently, been on alprazolam for 30 years, half a milligram, but she would take half of the half a milligram, so quarter milligram, but she never really took them like daily. She would take them as needed, and some days she'd take more and some days she'd take less. Doctor put her on Lexapro. She didn't like the way it felt, and she just cold turkeyed off of Lexapro and alprazolam, and I'm kind of worried about her, but she seems fine. That's the weird thing. Like, I've experienced this too with withdrawal from certain drugs. If you get it at the right time, seems like if you quit at the right time, kind of like cigarettes too. Like, there's been times where I've quit whatever drug and had zero problems with it, like minor withdrawals, but over quickly. And maybe it has something to do with the metabolism of your body, how busy you are, stuff like that. I'm not sure, but mind my blues. So there is a chance of one day you being pill free. That sounds yes, absolutely. That's the goal. That's what my psychiatrist and I talk about. I mean, I'm only taking 2 medications. A year ago, or 2 years ago, 3 years ago, the further back you go, the more medication I was on. And I have macheted my way through that jungle of drugs down to 2. But this one, Lydia, I've missed you. Well, I've missed you too. I enjoy y'all's company. I enjoy hanging out and talking. And don't be shy to say, hey, shut up and talk about something fucking interesting or that we're interested in. I'm open to suggestion. I've just been doing features, which aren't really super compelling or anything, but there is a lot of shit going on, man. And if I'm being like 100% real with you, like, I see poo being flung, and I just kind of keep my head down. I don't want to get involved in all that shit. Only 2 weeks. Only 2 meds. Yeah, thanks, Whitney. I appreciate that. It's taken a while to get here. Okay. Barb, good morning, Barb. I tuned into your K-Fuck show the other day and enjoyed it. Well, get ready, because I spent all day yesterday redoing my entire OBS scene profiles, and this one's going to really look good. I don't know, hopefully the music is good too, but I redesigned the entire thing. So I'm looking forward to using that. Tonight, I'm doing a broadcast. It's a new broadcast on the schedule. Gaming broadcast, playing Daisy with my friend Geppetto, who suffered a traumatic brain injury at a very young age. And we played Daisy together. He had a miraculous recovery from a quad incident. He jumped he had 60 miles an hour. He jumped I don't know, about a 15-foot ramp, flew way up in the air, went in front of the quad, and then landed 100 feet away, and then the quad landed on his back, shattered his spine, crushed his skull, broke his hip, and arms and all this stuff. But he was very, very young, 19 or 20, and the doctors recognized, hey, he's still got the healing factor. So let's push this kid as far and as hard as we can for as long as we can to get him walking and recovered. And it was 2 years of absolute hell. I stayed in touch with him because we gamed before all of this. And, being an Oregon boy growing up on the farm, they would drink and go ride quads, and he worked on a farm. So not much to do, and, they raced quads, the family raced quads, and so he was practicing, and that happened. But I stayed in touch with him, and, he was, like, very pessimistic about being able to game again, so I was like, dude, it's like 20, whatever it was. I'm like, there's gotta be peripherals for disabled people. Like, and sure enough, we found a controller for the feet that controls WASD. And then another controller that you can hotkey and use feet with. So he uses a combination of the one hand he can use and the mouse and the keyboard and his feet, which is amazing. So he can play most games. He just has to map everything out. And so Mondays, MON capital DAY capital Z. This is a zombie survival game on a special server with another community friend. It's called Platty's Playground, and it's it's just sort of like a meme-ish type thing, because Office Space, right? Sounds like someone's got a case of the Mondays. In DayZ, bad things tend to happen. The game is a little buggy. Zombies are a little harsh, and it's an open world survival game. So you die a lot, horribly. So, sounds like someone got a case of the Mondays. And then also the zombies. Like, it's Monday, everyone's starting their week. I like to pretend that the zombies are the daywalkers of the world that are out to make your week miserable. So, let's see here. I'm glad that you enjoyed K-Fuck. I've got another good show coming up this week. That's Thursdays at either noon or 2. Just depends on when I wake up. So anytime between noon or 2 Central Standard Time, you'll catch that broadcast. It's 2 hours of music, licensed and curated somewhat. I usually make the playlist beforehand. And I play any Scientology artists, or even people who, like Alex's mom, Fiona Ross. Holy shit, is she good. I play her stuff. I get licensed to play this stuff. The exciting news, and I'm doing this for Whitney, all right? Hey, Nikarasu. Nikarasu is, I need to make him a moderator now. He's a moderator on the other channel as well. I met him through this virtual vestibule, and yeah, we started playing Fallen Earth together, and we've been friends and been playing together for a long time. He's a very dear friend. He's what I call a virtual friend years ago, where people were very much still. Sorry, I'm having coffee this morning. Do you remember the time when people would think you were crazy for talking to someone online and becoming friends with them? Like, you don't know that person, they could be a serial killer. Well, I did a video years back. It's in the vault, the Chronicles, called Virtual Friends. And I would highly recommend checking it out if you like what I do, because I talk about the changing the changing culture, digital culture, and how you can really make some fantastic friends. It's actually quite a lot better in many ways, because you don't have to go to a bar or a cafe and start asking a bunch of questions about what you have in common. You go to the places that you want to go to online that have your interests, and then you find people that have your same interests. So, yeah, big love for Nico Rasu. He's a big supporter of my music and Travis's music that we write. Big time supporter. So I want to thank him for that. Whitney, K-Fuck is awesome. I run the playlist sometimes while I'm working. I need to get better about labeling the public playlists on Spotify. But that's along with a long list of things I need to do. Sophia, I do love the progress in medical research. Years ago, it was virtually impossible to recover from brain trauma. Yeah. And now there's so much ways to enjoy life as best as possible. Nick knows my friend that I was talking about who had the accident. And the fact that back in the 80s, he would have been a lost cause. They would have been like, oh, yeah, oh, well, your family's just going to have to keep you in a bed until you're dead. But he had 7 brain surgeries. 7 brain surgeries. And he can, yeah, TBIs are different for everybody. And I know that pretty intimately now because when I first moved here, when I had my computer in a pizza box, I did editing for WHIV's program, The Brainstormers, which you can see which way am I pointing? God damn. That's a bandana, and it says Brainstormers on it. That is the broadcast, or that's the group. The broadcast is called Listen to Us Live. And that foundation, or that nonprofit, was started by the husband of a survivor of a very, very egregious. I'm looking for I'm trying to switch back. A very egregious crime where his wife in New York was brutally beaten half to death and raped in a public bathroom. And she was never the same, but her husband never stopped looking at her. I mean, even though she was different, completely different, her brain was different. She had severe trauma to the brain. And so she thought different, she felt different, she didn't remember things. There was lots of things that were different. And he just was like, wow, this is amazing. He took the optimistic route and became an advocate. His name is, he goes by Red Priest on the radio. But his name is Stephen Holt, and he's from Canada. He's a very worldly guy, musician, radio talent, mover and a shaker here in New Orleans, knows everybody. And my friend Chris Morrison introduced me to him, and we became very fast friends. And Chris Morrison has a nickname as well. They call him Simo. He's a game developer. Good morning, Bach buddy. Had virtual Aussie friends back in the day when I played early online games. They were up and playing when I should have been sleeping, getting ready for work the next day. Yeah, you gotta watch that stuff. I myself played EVE Online for a time, and I was doing alarm clock fighting, basically. I call alarm clock PvP, player versus player. And I would set my alarm for 2 or 3 in the morning because you kind of have to in EVE because it's a 24-hour game from people all over the world. A lot of Russians play, a lot of Eastern Bloc nations play, Iceland plays, Australia, like all the time zones, Chinese, Japanese, and so you gotta, if you're American, they divide it up in time zones. They're like, this might be inconvenient, but it needs to happen. And you wake up, I would wake up, the alarm, be like a zombie, log in, sit in a dreadnought, and shoot a station for 2 hours, go back to bed. That wasn't that much fun, but I wanted the experience. Let's see here. The game was Interstate 76. I've never heard of it. Sophia, the upside of virtual friends is you don't even need to put on pants and have cheap snacks around. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Mind my blues. I met a virtual friend in a peer-to-peer download rooms for music in 1999. We're still virtual friends. The internet was always scary. Yeah, that is interesting. Which peer-to-peer network was it? Kaza? Because I remember there was a chat feature in Kaza, I believe. Lydia. In fairness, I'm fine with online people since I realized how unhinged IRL people are. Well, we know you're a virtual friend if you're saying IRL without having to preface it with what it means. We all know what IRL means, right? X up if you don't know what IRL means. X up if you don't know what IRL means. X up, X up, X up. We don't want to have any misunderstood words or terminology. Thank you, babe. Yeah, I don't have my link up. That's one thing I didn't do yesterday was update all of my coffee links because I have one for each channel now. And I need to update that in my OBS. All right, so Lorna does not know what IRL means. Will someone in the chat explain and give a definition for IRL? Pretty please? Dirty knees? What? Why did you say dirty knees? I do need to put the linky for the buy me a coffee in case someone does that, because Cynthia loves the Lulu howls. The Lulu of the Barks. Lulu of the Barks. That is her name. Excuse me. Taking my other medicine. And oh, excuse me. The pharmacy didn't get my here we go, stream alerts, copy. So I'll send a test here in a minute. Let me go to sources. And here we go. That's YouTube chat. Here we go. Make a browser source. This is BMC. And I'll label it in Theta. Alright. And I should just, you know what? I should just make those their own sources. Because then I can just add them to whatever scene is necessary. Alright, click OK. There it is at the bottom. Is that the right one? I can't even tell. Let me make it bigger. Yeah, that's the right one. So there's the Buy Me a Coffee link. So it sounds like this. It's not coming through. BMC. Gotta turn the monitor on. Alright, so now this is Lulu. So that's what it sounds like. You get a little Lulu bark. That's from her younger years. These days, she just barks at the wall. Okay. There we go. We had someone define IRL. In real life, Lorna. So if you say IRL, it means that you've met someone or you know someone in real life. Like, oh, I met them in IRL. You might think that's a place, and it is. Real life, I guess, is a place. But, oh, I said Chinese, Japanese. She said dirty knees. That's why she said it. Got it. And so does Lorna. Thanks, kitties. Yeah, I guess, you're playing the elder card here. You get your senior discount, senior citizen discount. And that's about all of that, unless I start hitting the keef again. All right. So today I figured commentary. The AI image I came up with is so fucking funny. I love playing with the AI image creation tool, Firefly. So let's transition over into this. See how this works. Okay. There's Ashley saying, it's okay. This picture, I fucking love. I never realized at the top, there's rebeldick666.com. I've never gone to visit there, and I don't recommend you do it, but I just thought it was funny. It's like, it's okay. rebeldick666.com. This is my lovely friend and Cynthia's friend here, who let me stay while I was doing medical stuff, my surgeries, going to lots of doctor's appointments when I didn't have any place to go. So we love Ashley very much. It was her birthday on the 19th of February. So happy birthday, Ashley. Hope things are going well for you. She works at Tulane. If you want to go stalk her or whatever. No, don't do that. It'd be bad. Between Sean, her boyfriend, and me, you don't want to mess with her. Alright. I cannot wait for my discount. Yeah, me either. Alright, so on this screen over here, I've got Ashley again. So there's a whole bunch of Ashley. So let's see, where's the chat? It's right here. I need to load that. So I'll grab that from here. See, the workflow is getting better. The more you do something, the better you get at it. I tell my kids that all the time. You want to get better at something? There's only 3 things that you need to do. And what are they? Do we know? Does anyone know the 3 things you need to do to get better at anything? Open question. 3 things. 3 things to get better at anything. Anything at all. Amy Jean? Practice, practice, practice. That's right. So, yeah, the workflow is getting there. Yeah, Whitney knew it too. Oh, y'all probably all knew it, but. Okay, so I can bring up a screen here. Oh, look, it's YouTube. God help us all. So what pops up in my subs, which I have 200 some odd subs, in the top, I'll go from top to bottom, I guess. So Louis Rapetta was at Pack Base 2 days ago. So let's watch some of this. I'm curious to see what Louis did, what his crimes are. What are your crimes? Look, I talked about Eve, and look, it's doing an Eve, whatever, Eve. Okay, so let me turn the, let me.
I'm here. Gosh, it's incredible. It looks the same. Gotta be honest with you. It looks the same. You know? Looks the exact same. When my mother was here doing her training on her Class 6, she was the RPFers were on the outside of this building doing some kind of sand blasting and blasting away the original surface. That was like in 1995, 94. She was here doing her Sano Special Briefing course. Maria Repetto. She graduated.
Maria Repetto. That sounds really familiar. Laura, let's see, Brian. So what's going on? Taking a break from overdue yard work. Well, hey man, if you're not feeling up to it, don't do it. But remember, probably good. I don't know where you're at in the world, but it's gonna get hot soon, like scorching hot. So doing yard work now is probably less appealing. I love the winter season. I hate to see it go every year because it's a short thing in Louisiana. But depending on where you're at, you may have a little more time. But like, you want to get yard work done, any changes to your layout, it's probably best to do it. Probably best to do it before the scorching, blazing, skin melting heat of Louisiana. Lorna, you sound Marcus, you sound so upbeat. I don't mind if it's Monday. It seems a great way to start the whole new week. I do this broadcast so that I have a week, because it may come as a surprise, but I don't have a job. I don't have a job. I don't have an income. And that's been that way for years now. I mean, if you have questions, we could get into specifics of why, or if you think that's, irresponsible, or, I got all this gear, like, I'm trying to be some big streamer. I don't even like the word streamer. I worked in broadcast before streaming. And I like broadcast. So it's kind of like work, and Monday, if I do a broadcast, it starts my week. And it's been working so far. I've got, I've been filling up the little slots during the week. Oh, the thing I wanted to show Whitney, you guys bear with me. We're all friends here. It's all good. I'm going to show Whitney something. She's going to probably laugh. Okay. We'll get back to Louis Rapetta, but so this is an Optiplex board. It looks like a micro ATX, but look at this massive card on it. There's no way in hell the Optiplex PSU power supply unit is gonna run this card, so I need a PSU. And when I get the PSU, I should be able to set up the broadcast node, which will allow me to broadcast 24/7. How would that be? Would you like to see a whole network? Would you like to see short films? Would you like to hear music? Would you like to watch gaming videos that are funny? Would you like to watch music videos? Well, hey, Alex K. from Berlin, Germany. Good morning from New Orleans, Louisiana, Nouvelle Orleans. It is 10:57 local time, Monday, February 26th. We're starting our week. This is how we start our week, hanging out. Yeah, Whitney, it is huge. And I have a lot of programming to go through. And I actually, if you guys have any suggestions as to scheduling, I'm all ears. Hit up the Discord. If you're not in the Discord and you want to communicate with me and everybody else, here is the Discord link. You guys are welcome. There is moderation, so be nice or leave. Be nice or leave. There's a sign in Cynthia's office that says that, and I agree with it. Be nice or just be nice. Be nice. You don't have to hang out and don't be the asshole. But ain't nobody here that comes and watches me I've ever really gotten the impression they're an asshole, except for maybe Johnny Vival back in the early days where he was convinced I was an OSA op. We were both not doing so great at that time, but we're both doing better now. He runs a halfway house near New Jersey. It's a rough place, but it's where he grew up. He's a combat veteran from Iraq, and he had a rough time coming back. But he got cleaned up, and now he's helping others do the same. Some of which have had similar experiences. All right, so in Theta commentary, here we go. Louis Rapetta went back to Pac Base. I swear, and I look at the pictures of Louis when he was younger. I don't know what years he was active at Pac Base, but he looks very familiar. And I would remember his face from ASHO. So if he worked at ASHO from 2000 to 2004, I remember seeing his face.
Graduates in 1996, and then 1 month later, they tell her she has to redo the whole thing with these new drills they call the golden age of tech. And so they tried to scam her for more money to do more training. They tried to scam her. You have to do everything again. And then
Yeah, about the scam part. Um, let's see if I can do this. So about the scam part, when they re-released the books, and I was assigned a bookstore post, I questioned Tom, Kathy, Jim, Vicky, Chris, Iris, Monica, all my peers and all my seniors. And I was like, if LRH had the tech and wrote it down himself, why in the fuck is it being reprinted and edited? Because you're always drilled with source. You're not reading it correctly. What it is, it's really just a very common gaslighting thing. That whatever the reference, whatever it is that you're having an issue with, and in the movie Gaslighting defined and coined the term gaslighting. But and what it was a guy telling a woman that she was seeing and experiencing things that weren't there, and she started to. Hence the term gaslighting, and references are used to gaslight. So you'll go, which is kind of paradoxical, really, when you think about it, because I would ask, well, if this stuff's been edited before and it was done wrong by some SP, how can I trust that the reference you're showing me is not the same situation? And so the answer would generally be, well, we've got enough of it. We're just weeding out the bad stuff, and we think we know what, is the right parts to read or whatever. Those are the explanations that I remember. But Louie's mom had to redo something, which is very common, because new information had come out about the whatever. It's just a sell, resell, the same damn thing. Seeing a lot of comments here. Morning, Willie. Today is your birthday. Well, if I wouldn't get a copyright strike, I would play you Aqua Teen Hunger Force's version of the Happy Birthday song. It's the new Happy Birthday song called Spirit Journey Anniversary Transformation or something like that. It's really funny. Should look it up, but I can't play it. Happy birthday, my man. Hell, I might have to, the keep is somewhere where I can't see it. But I'll do a little dab of Keef on your behalf for your birthday. Happy birthday, Willie. Everybody say happy birthday, Willie. Corn Freak, 4874, Xenu Marlene. Guess I'm taking a cleaning break. Awesome. Yeah. There is a correlation to having your space clean and your mind having there's a mental health benefit to cleaning your space, which I need to dust off the board. I need to dust off the interface. I need to vacuum the floor in here. But yesterday, doesn't have to be physical cleaning necessarily. If you're a computer nerd like me, like I get a lot of satisfaction out of organizing stuff. I've never been accused of being OCD or diagnosed with OCD. I just like things being nice and neat so that they're easy for me to find, and sometimes I will organize my hard drives. And over the years, I've learned how to do that correctly and incorrectly. But that's a whole nother subject that's more tech stuff. Nirvana, hell yeah. Okay. The word tech bothers me as much as church when talking about Scientology, loony ramblings. No, it's tech. Well, here's my... I like that you brought that up, Bach. Because when you say technology, it almost makes it sound like it's a good thing. Like, oh, this new thing that, will make our lives better. It's association with the word technology. New technologies or emerging technologies. And, that's not exactly, when speaking about Scientology, the message I want to send. However, if I look at it from the perspective of the technology of a body, human body, pretty advanced technology. We still can't make one aside from like we can make one, but it's driven from this urge. So we can't just be like, oh, I'm going to make a human body. If we had the technology to do that, I don't know if that would be moral or ethical or anything like that, but if we had the technology to do that, there would probably be people saying, that's an amazing technology, and some people would say, that's fucked. We shouldn't be doing that. Scientology is one of those technologies that fits both categories, because there are, and something that is lacking, I think, and I'm guilty of it as well for a long time, not acknowledging the things that are true, they're all stolen, okay? I'm not claiming LRH had original thoughts. He had a very creative mind, but the truths that exist in Scientology, and there are truths in Scientology. You can find them everywhere else too. Those are the closest thing that I would say to tech that Scientology has. It would be technology, and in that instance, it's not even technology. It's just knowledge or wisdom or whatever you want to call it, life experience. Because what is true is all. You can always find an earlier source. So LRH is not source in those situations. It's just, but the other technology that exists is the sort of reverse of that, where you can do terrible, 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 terrible things by using psychology. It's it's a perfect cover to say you hate psychology and then use psychology in mass on people. So, no one would suspect someone who hates psychiatry and psychology to be using it all the time, right? But that is what happens. Let's see. Oh, Willie, me too. I saved all my Keef all year. You saved it for today? Holy shit, man. Are you going to get through it all today? That would be something. Happy birthday, Willie. Happy birthday, my man. Let's see. Brian, I know tackling. Let's see if I can make this better for everybody. Brian. Where was it? Oh yeah, here we go. I know tackling my yard has been a boost over the last few days. Yeah, and for me, the exercise, like I do walking, Yard work is brutal for me. Bending over and stuff. I have degenerative disc disorder, disease, whatever you want to call it. My discs are all messed up. I don't think it's. It may be partially genetic, but it's probably more like I just rode myself hard and hung myself up wet. You see Skeeter in the background there. That's a picture from a show in 2007. I mean, I still played in bands. I've never stopped, really. The only major lull was from 2017 to 2019. Uh, and shows are, yeah, it's hard work, man. I mean, I was talking to a friend the other day about what I was doing before Scientology, and I was a young stage manager, and so I learned a lot from the people that were doing like big acts and stuff. So I learned like the standards or whatever and practices of professional stage management, and it's hard work. It's hard work, man. It's backbreaking shit, and exhausting and long hours. And I've carried that sort of with me in addition to the Scientology work ethic that they install into your brain. And as a result, I'm sitting on a mountain of media that hasn't been edited or processed. I could hire, if I had the ability to buy people's freedom to work on it, probably a team of 12 people to edit, just edit. So I need to somehow make that happen. But I did the math. Like my buddy Dale, who let me crash in the studio when I first was homeless, when I officially became homeless, I was really ashamed to ask him if I could stay in the studio, but he didn't even let me finish my sentence. He said, "Go grab your shit." He knew what was going on with the divorce and Scientology and stuff like that. And so, and we spent a lot of time planning, building, constructing the first Octane Sound Studio. And he took a lot of pride in it. He called me around 2012 and we started looking at how to build what he wanted to build. And he is very, very hard worker. Like, he's a project manager at a heat treatment facility that treats these industrial pipes, make sure they don't blow up. So he's got a pretty stressful job, but an important one. He has to be the guy that says, no, you can't start this unit for another 6 months. It's got to be recooked to a certain... It's metallurgy is what it is. So I would love to buy Dale's freedom, because then he could start editing and mixing a bunch of music. But that would cost, I did the math, for 1 year, on average, to buy one person's freedom to work on, something that, like, if assuming someone wants to do that kind of work, which a lot of people who do don't have the opportunity. But someone who wanted to do that kind of work, needs security, because they've usually taken up a career and do the stuff they love on the side. So they would need some security, so at least 1 year, but some people may need more. I account for Dale as like a 2-year type thing. And sometimes he makes 6 figures a year. So not usually, but sometimes. And so generally around 90,000 gross and 70 or 60, however much taxes they take, maybe less, 50 maybe he takes home. I have no idea. But yeah, I would need to be able to cover that. Uh, but I could put about 12 people to work, no problem, with all of the things that are just knocking at the door, so to speak. All right, scrolling back up here, Woohoo Willie. I think I should grab that Keef here in a second. Willie Dabs. I'm gonna do a Willie Dab. You're great, man. Happy birthday, bro. Is your spawn point still around? This is a term that my my daughter used. She called me her creator. She said, "You were my creator. Mom is my spawn point." What do they call kids in this, like 12 years old, born in like past the no, the aughts, in the teens? Like, I wonder what there's a name for the you know how they have a name for all the generations. I wonder what her generation name is, because she's really fucking funny. You got a very unique take on the world perspective when you think about what you experienced as a child and how it was formative. The formative events in my daughter and son's lives have been so strange. It's given them a very mature perspective. I can't say that that's the case with everybody, every kid, but because it also really depends on the parents too, right? Stella had some early behavioral problems, but we were able to resolve that with play therapy, which is really great for young children. You know, that you don't want to have some weirdo like start asking a 3-year-old questions. That's just kind of creepy. They do have specialists now, and the one that I was able to get was not cheap, but like nipped it in the bud. Taught my 3-year-old daughter how to process and deal with difficult emotions for a 3-year-old. What's fucked up about it is that every step of the way I was being fought. No one wanted Stella to go into therapy. And I had to fight everybody, including my own attorney, who eventually, when I said this is a non-starter for me, like, you need to get this in front of the judge and get it approved. And he was like, I just don't know, I don't think so. Well, got in front of the judge. Judge was like, yes, I think that's a good idea. And he was surprised. I'm like, why? That's like, that should be some, even though the kids aren't in the courtroom, that those are the most important people that we're discussing when you're talking about a divorce and children. I mean, two people can break up, whoop-de-doo, but, like, you know, let's focus on the kids. What's their life going to be like? So it helped a lot, is what I'm saying, the play therapy. All right. Aqua Teen Hunger Force rules. Happy birthday. Yes. An organized system is a good thing, Sophia says. Of course you would say that, Fraulein. We got this friend in the gaming community. His name's we have the same name except his has a K in it. I won't say his last name. He's kind of a private person, but his name is Marcus. He goes by Red Eye, and he's a web developer among other things. Awesome gamer too. He dude, you're doing it all wrong. You see, what you need is this tool I use on web administration. It makes everything, it's one click. So, like, if you are not doing and using this, it is, I mean, I am using this and doing it's, I wouldn't do it any other way, any other way would just be a waste of time. So, yeah, he does that a lot. Oh man. Okay. It's supposed to wake people up, but it puts them to sleep instead. I'm not sure what you mean by that, Nick. Maybe Scientology? I don't know. Corn Freak. I just spent the day in Chicago with 3 people I had just met and watched in this community, and I plan to join them again to protest this Sunday. First time I've ever met friends online. Well, hey, congratulations. Welcome to the club. There we go. Live long and prosper. I need a hotkey for that other one. Keep having to scroll down. It's such a fucking pain in the ass. Convenience. Can you imagine it? Convenience. It's such a... Convenience is so inconvenient. Here we are. All right. Damn, it's already 11:21. And we've only watched like a couple seconds of Louis' video. I'm going to link it because it's 2 hours long. There's some interesting stuff that happens in there. I think Laura shows up. If you look at the chat there, that's Laura. She says, "We are coming." So I guess she showed up later. Oh no, don't show me another damn. And this is the jip of the century. It's a scam. Star Citizen. Don't do it. All right. Did Laura show up? Looks like he kind of went. I don't know if that was the. Oh, there she is. So Louis and Laura went down to Pack Base. I fucking love it that they have the. I gotta say, like that would have been real scary for me. Maybe not as much now, but when I went to Flag in 2017 for the season wrap, season 2 aftermath, and met everybody, and made friends with the supporters, people, all the people who have been through similar things but aren't Scientologists, so don't have a flag to wave that is like rubberneck flag, I guess is what I'd call it. Something to be like, hey, you don't know much about this, and there's always weird information and limited information, and it was covered up, and it was real quiet for a long time because even the media was afraid to talk about it. Well, now there's people talking about it. And so if you do talk about it, it kind of makes you a little hotbed, I guess, a point of attention. And yeah, that's, to me, that's part of, well, just for my journey or whatever you want to call it, that's been part of the healing process, is talking about it. And to imagine that when I first started talking about it, to go someplace like that would have been just too scary for me to even think about. So their tremendous bravery that I see, I don't know if everyone sees how big a deal it is, and he's just so cool as a cucumber about it. And in a way, yeah, he should be, because at this point, what are they gonna do? There's so many people who have come out now because the information flows. They cannot possibly contain it anymore. So there's less. If I did that now, if I did my first video today, I would probably feel a little safer because it's safety in numbers, right? So the more numbers you have, the safer you feel. And I love that Laura showed up to support Louie. I adore these people. The first video that Louie did reminded me of the first one that I did, and it was so gut wrenching, painful, scary, full of all kinds of yuckiness that you experience. And you know, you can almost see, like, I'm trying to work this out, but I can't fucking do it. And it isn't easy because not everyone knows or would understand how crazy it is. It's just unbelievable how crazy it can be. So going online helps because there are plenty of y'all that can understand that, and that harkens back to virtual friends, where you can find all kinds of people that you have similar interests and beliefs and shared interests with. All right, God, I gotta scroll down here. Gen Z, Lisa says. Stella's Gen Z. Okay, they got, you know, I'm constantly amused and entertained by the lack of give a fuck. I love that about my kids. Like, very, very resilient. Like, I'm not saying Stella doesn't have, typical middle school things, but, oh, they skipped Generation Y. All right, gotcha. Society has always progressed. This is Willie Weed. Society has always progressed at the speed we can receive information. They should be more advanced. That's what I'm noticing because my daughter, oh my God, she streamed Fortnite in the Discord, the gaming Discord the other night, and my friend Gap, who had the accident, was just absolutely mesmerized, and so was I, at the speed at which she was making changes to her character, getting ready for a match, and then not just that, but in the match she was 1v4ing people, which means it was 4 people trying to kill her. She killed them. 1v5, she did a 1v5. She did multiple 1v2s, 1v1s, 1v3s, and as a nerd, she was in the Discord with my nerd friends, and we've been playing together for 14 years. And they're watching her play. It's like a second generation of gamer nerds, and this Stella and Stone are like the children of this little group. So, yeah, everyone was super proud and like, get him, girl, get him. And even some smack talk from some of the other guys was funny. And then she smack talk right back. Corn Freak 84874. Today I discovered the dust on the ceiling fan. It's there every day, and then I see it. I don't know of any quick life hacks. Dust. If you have allergies, wear a mask and then get a air duster. Or actually, this is how my mom used to do it. So my mom would take just a regular. I don't have a cloth. I thought I did. She would take a regular cloth. Camera 1. Camera 2. Full screen. Camera 1. Camera 2. Camera 1. Camera 2. Okay, I'm still getting used to all this, so Sorry. All right. Corn Freak. Where was it? Yep. Okay. Oh, that is. Listen, Corn Freak. You are welcome here all the time, anytime. I'm so glad that uh, I'm so glad that you are going out and meeting people. Uh, you know, ex Scientologists, ex Mormons, ex Catholics, former Scientologists, former whatever. We're not all bad people, you know? I'm not saying you thought that, but that, for certain religions, people assume, oh, well, they must be really fucking stupid. And that is the word that I've heard. Besides the bird's a word. No, it's like, hey, you must be stupid for believing that. No. In fact, some of the best people I've ever known, I met in these kind of groups that were highly coercive. I mean, my mother married a very controlling man, and she's one of the best people that I know. But when you, this is tough because as of as a victim of some of these things, especially not especially, just as a victim of some of these groups, you end up perpetrating because they do have the exalted, whatever you want to call them, the saved, the clear, the in the spirit. They have these statuses, and then they have these other people. The other people, we don't deal with those. We don't mess with those people, and it's just a sort of a whole aggregate uh, prejudice. I pluralized that. I didn't need to. It's a whole aggregate prejudice, and that can make people seem very stupid. But if you believe that it's right, that doesn't make you a bad person. It just means that you're believing something that isn't true. You're falling prey to a trap. It's a mental trap, you know? Camera one. So, Generation Z, yada yada. They skipped Generation Y. They should be more advanced. Corn Freak. Today I just got. Okay, dust. Okay, yeah. So, the way my mom used to do it, she'd take a rag and spray it down with Clorox and maybe some alcohol. I don't know if that's safe or not, but she would take some Clorox and spray a little alcohol and press firmly and just drag it all the way across. And that she would use 4 rags, one for each blade of the fan, because there's so much dust. And it is a good idea to do that, especially if you have allergies. So that's my tip about cleaning the ceiling fan. All right. Lydia. Kids are kind of are the collateral damage of separations usually, yes. Definitely so in my high conflict lawsuit fair game of a divorce. Ad blocker, Whitney. I really like Louis and his content. He's really opening up and trying to heal. That first video is exactly like I said. I saw a lot of myself in that first video because he was very open and vulnerable. And yes, I do believe he's trying to heal, just like Laura. That's that should be what we do, is try to heal. you know, therapy is difficult to approach after being a Scientologist because of auditing. But it is when you're ready and when you can and you start learning. I went to college for a couple years to try to study psychology. Some of my old videos I'm talking about all kinds of stuff like a typical college student, like I know it all. But I got up to Psych 102 or 201, I don't remember. I had to file academic bankruptcy, but I went to university 4 times. I never graduated, but I studied what I wanted to study and I learned what I felt like I wanted to learn. And in psychology, at a certain point, my teacher pulled me aside because I told her about my history. She's like, look, if you go any further, you're going to find out some things that, you might not be ready for. You probably need some therapy before you continue. She straight up said that. And and then she was like, check out this material. I looked at it, I'm like, it proved her point very quickly because I was reduced to tears in her classroom. But yeah, Whitney, I think Louis is I like low key, like, hey, this is what I went through. I'm still going through it. And if you want to be here for the journey and be friends, because there's no one else that understands, then I will be doing this. Like, I dig that. Everyone's journey is different, and some people are more effusive in their presentations. Gen Y are millennials. Okay. Thank you, Lisa. Sophia, children are resilient if you let them own their strength. That's a great point because, my mother kept saying, don't worry about the kids. They'll be fine. I'm like, they will be fine if they are okay. If they, like you said, if you let them have some agency. I agree with that, 100%. Tish, hey, what up? Pillowcase over the blades? I don't know what that means. Hide a knife under the pillow? Corn Freak, comment. I found you through Doug Kramer. He was one of, if not my favorite. Rip, he was a genuine soul. Yeah, he was. And last week, well, he comes up almost every week. But I have a strong feeling that, had he lived, and in a parallel universe, we are currently doing more backflash. There was some situation that came up that was seemingly engineered. Right? Doug would go down rabbit holes that I won't go down. But this is one of those things that, like, there is no logical reason for what happened other than some kind of interference. And we do know of at least 2 people who were interfering with our relationship. At least just 2 that I know of. And what I miss the most is the things that we won't be able to do. I miss his laugh. I don't miss the talking over because he really wouldn't stop even on the phone sometimes. Like, he cut me off, and then the thing is like, I forget what I'm talking about if he is talking constantly. This is not an uncommon problem. I get this from people up north. like of New York, Rhode Island, Long Island, Connecticut. They're like, you talk too slow. Well, you talk too fucking slow, man. Just spit it out. I do talk slow. It's part of kind of the way things are here in the South. Slow speaking. I also, have native ancestry. So if you want to think of me that way, then that could be something. All right. So pillowcase over blades. Well, corn, I got to say, Doug was my favorite because Doug coaxed me out of the closet. No, I'm not, I'm not gay, but we were talking for several years before we did Backflash. He kept saying, man, you need to do something. We need to do something. I know you know stuff, and you know stuff about Ventura, and I want to do stuff about that. And I got this whole thing planned. And I'm like, yeah, but I don't want the attention. I don't want to be on the radar. Because believe it or not, I don't have over 1,000 subscribers, but I have been targeted. I have been. And, it's nothing major. It's just who wants to deal with that? If you were a member of a church and you're getting harassed and they're trying to fuck up your career and all this stuff, like, you don't want to paint a target on your back. He appealed to my sense of duty. Yes, duty. And sort of like, make it right. I mean, I had already done a lot of things for myself, like talking to Alex Merrick's, talking to Adrian Heredia, talking to people from that time and saying, hey, I'm sorry for everything. And there was only one person who was still in that I can think of. Or no, two. Monica disconnected from me. So, since you're a big fan of Doug, and I guess you watch Backflash, there you go, Monica. I'm honored to have you here, Corn Freak. If you were a friend of Doug, then you're a friend of mine. Nikarasu, I'm a millennials and get called a boomer already when I don't get various memes and vernacular. Well, join the club. I think a lot of us get misnomered boomers. I've been called a boomer on multiple development teams. Caveat, I'm not employed. I'm just working on development teams. None of these other people are getting paid either. Proud Gen X here, Corn Freak. All right. I'm right there on the edge. 1981. But I grew up in Louisiana in the 80s. My brothers are 13 and 15 years older than me. So I grew up around Gen Xers. That's a ignore call. Whitney, another Gen X. Blues, Gen X. I know nothing. I know nothing about nothing, and I don't care about your drama. I love that. That's Gen X in a nutshell, huh? It's just like, fuck, man. Like, there's enough already. God. Whitney, Gen Xers say, you think it's bad now, should have seen the 80s. Yeah, we do that. I mean, how we survived, who knows? We got some bonding happening in the chat. That's great. Barb, was that the one with Vanessa? It was heart-wrenching. No, you're talking about Louis Rapetta. No, it was the just him. It was just him, and it was heart wrenching, but it was you could see the healing taking place. That's how I would describe it. Corn Freak, I used Swifter dusters and cleaned it. I'm behind in the live. Okay, gotcha. Corn used Swiffer Freak. Blues. JW Kid. Okay, I don't think you guys are stupid. I think it's a coercive mind control. Hey! Well, yes, as I said before, you are welcome here anytime. And you'll find the company quite amenable. Um, Not sure. Let's see, Sophia. Not sure what kind of old I am, but I've been old and grumpy about stuff for a long time. Oh, that's funny to me. Um, it seems like you live kind of in the middle of kind of suburbia, but kind of metro. I could be wrong, but um, is it boring where you live? I don't know. Just a guess. Um, Bach saw Animal House, then tried college. Are you fucking kidding? Are you serious? You're like, ooh, Animal House. Let's go peep. Um, Turns out there is a thing called double secret probation. Hollywood got it right. Well, that movie and the making of it is a very interesting story. You should check that out. Dig it up. It's good. Um, Tish, gloves for the dust. Use gloves. Right on. Um, Nikarasu, I found it difficult to watch Doug's videos after he passed. I liked a lot of what he had to talk about, so maybe I'll come back to it. I would recommend it. I would recommend going back and watching Doug's stuff. Um, I didn't watch everything there was because there was so much. He was pretty epic. Um, every time I talked to him, he was editing, and and at the same time we were talking about things that we were going to be doing. So he was a very busy guy, and covered a lot of material. So yeah, it is. Yeah, he had a great laugh. He had a beautiful soul. Um, we were like kind of fought like brothers sometimes. So the little thing that happened, that's not what that was. That wasn't a brother fight type thing. Although we did fight like brothers. We were very passionate about the subjects we were talking about. This was something completely different. Like, there was something going on in LA that I don't know about, and I still don't know what happened, that caused this whole disconnection. That's what it was. It was a disconnection. It's so out of character and context for Doug. So I know there had to have been some other people involved. Sophia, we got our first license at 4 or 5, allowing us to drive bikes alone on streets and around. We were expected to know the rules navigating the streets, but it gave us independence. That's pretty awesome. That's actually really cool. Talk about owning your responsibility and stuff. Yeah, babble on, Marcus. Babble away, Marcus, while I do all the work. Uh, I need to get back to clipping those things. There's still a lot of great clips. Corn Freak, to Nick, I really enjoy his presentation. He felt kind of like a big brother type that would be real fun to hang out with. Oh, good morning, Born Ancient. Um, and as far as what you said, Corn, he's fun to hang out with. Time would fly by it would be 5, and I'm not even exaggerating, 5, 6 hours on the phone with the guy. And I'd be like, holy shit, like I have to do X, Y, or Z. And he was in his apartment just in LA cooped up because of the COVID restrictions, and he didn't want to deal with it. So he kept himself busy. Got to say that. And he was big on presentation. He worked in film, so he did a much better job at presenting things than I did. I was able to make assets to be presented, but it was a collaborative effort, and I wish that we could do more backflash with Doug. But there's more backflash. There's always more backflash because until there's no more backflash to be had, there will be backflash. Born Ancient, your older videos are enlightening and informative. They document your healing and your processing. Do you feel now, with hindsight, that studying psychology helped? Abso-fucking-lutely. Studying psychology opened my mind to go to a therapist, to take that step. You fear what you don't understand, right? Common phraseology. And if for me, learning about psychology, while I did dismiss some of it, and I even told my teacher, I'm going to be using Scientology technology word clearing to make sure that I understand everything fully, blah, 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 blah. She's like, okay. And I did that. And as it turns out, that's one of those things that is true in Scientology. Like, you do want to understand the word. You don't need to go overkill and do an M1 session where you clear every single word and all its derivations and write 10 sentences of every single definition with the word "the," which has a lot of definitions. But it is good practice to be learn it in your vocabulary so that when you read something, you understand it. There might be, most people are pretty literate these days. I mean, that's debatable, right? But there might be, like in my case, there might be 3 or 4 words in a scientific article that I read that I don't understand. Well, I'm going to look that shit up. And if it leads to something I don't understand, I'm going to try to understand that. And then it's sort of like a chain. You come back to it, and then you start from there, you continue, and then you do get a conceptual understanding of what the hell it is they're talking about. Dominic Boudreau was an astronomy major at LSU when he got recruited into Scientology, and he used that to initially to help with his college classes, because he was reading about really, really crazy astronomical phenomenon and stars and physics and a lot of complicated stuff that Scientology trademark, it's a religion, helped him with. Now was it Scientology? No, it's just studying. What I call it, studying. Okay, so thank you, Born Ancient. That's quite a compliment to say that they're enlightening. I felt like I was going through some sort of enlightening, or I mean, enlightening in the sense that when you read about it in like religious texts or whatever, or even self-help stuff, it's not a fun process. It's kind of gross and painful and yucky, and it's like, feels like you're washing all of the nasty shit off of you, and it just don't want to come off. But I'm glad that you found them enlightening and informative. And I do feel like they documented my healing process. I wish I could get them in order. But I pulled them down because of the fair game stuff that was going on. And so getting them back in order is going to take some time. Eventually, maybe I'll be able to sort it out. but the file names are not dated because I deleted them. I backed them up, so some of the file names have the date of the backup, not the original upload date, because I wasn't smart enough to save them as that and take note of that. Corn Freak, I talk about Doug in chat so his word carries on and spreads. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's how people live forever. And he is definitely in an eternal peace. I know that. And he deserves peace. He didn't deserve to die. I'm not saying that. He deserved and deserves eternal peace. Sophia, I'll miss the calm way he delved into those rabbit holes. Yeah, that is a good point. He would talk about using his acting skills in his presentations, and I can tell you that Doug was not a very calm, demeanored person. He had a lot of anxiety, but he could act. You could see it come out, and he would definitely use that for effect. The anxiety, the anger, and all that. But he could also be calm, cool, collected, cool as the dude that was behind him, the Big Lebowski. We all have our ups and downs. All right, Bach Buddy. I'm a Minnesotan. Was in sales and was wild to go from talking to speedy New Yorkers to slower Southern customers. I bet. Yeah. Because you'll lose a sale almost like that with a Southern guy if you come at him like, whereas the New Yorker's like, yeah, cut to the chase. I just want to know. That must have been challenging at times. Lorna, it's always a good idea to do therapy while studying it. It is recommended to be in therapy while a student, where I come from at least. Yeah. I've been in therapy since 2015. The last term I did at McNeese was 2014. Corn Freak, peaceful chat, love. Hell yeah. Yeah, you're welcome here anytime. No bullshit. I don't even have to moderate. It just seems to cultivate. Willie Weed. Lutig is a genius, but if I can't listen at 2 times, I can't do it. You talking about Louis Repetto? I don't know who Lutig is. Corn Freak at Witness. Yup, did you catch me in my post-surgical boot in Chicago? Just a scratch, aka 7 screws in a plate. My passion to get out there is stronger than the pain. Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. That's what we call ham. Hard as a motherfucker. Barb, thanks Marcus and everyone. My food is delivered. We'll watch later. Alright. Food sounds good. I can't believe we've talked almost all the way through this. So let's see here. Back to that. All right. I do live in the middle of nowhere, Chicago, but in Chicagoland by definition. Corn. There's an artist from Chicago that I may be working with my buddy Rick Nelson at the Maroney in the next couple of months. Don't know what label it is, but to have my friend Rick call me and be like, "Hey, you want to help me do these arrangements for this artist from a label in Chicago? I'll pay you $500 a day." Yeah, sure. I mean, it's only gonna be a couple days, but that would be amazing. Get another credit because it's a good artist. It's not just about the money for me. Lorna, I like Louisianian accents. It's perfect speed. Huh. Well, thank you. Tidy Bowl Man. Tidy Bowl Man. Welcome. A lot of ellipses that I'm seeing here. I'm a boomer. We gets a bad rep. We only marched and ended the Vietnam War. Yeah. Yeah, people forget, that entire generations can be traumatized. My stepfather, I talk about sometimes, and there's a lot of blah, but he's a boomer. But here's the thing that even, I fail to acknowledge sometimes is that when he graduated, within 2 years, half or more of his friends were dead because they got drafted to Vietnam. Half or more. Now imagine your high school friends cut in half. They're all dead for no fucking good reason. So, if you want to hate on a boomer because they were like, you know what, fuck it, I want a house, I want the economy to do well, I want to vote like this, I want to do this now, like, you make a great point, Tidy Bowl Man. Vietnam War is over. John Lennon. It was huge. Huge. So, like, it's kind of one of those accomplishments. It's like, you know what? You can say whatever you want. We did this. Great point. I see your point. Sophia, you're not talking horribly slow, and I don't particularly like slow talking, but then again, I'm a fast talker to the point where some people start to duck. Are they ducking because they think you're going to throw something, or are they ducking from the words? Corn, I've been off work for 2 months, binging and having to work again in a month, so here I am over talking. I think I'll take my dog to the park. You're not over talking. It's fine. And you have a question. Did I see Karen and Jeffrey show up at L.A.? Shit bell? No. I didn't. But I thought about calling Jeffrey because I have his number. And we talked we talked before Doug's body was found. And he essentially gave his condolences. And was generally kind, as Karen has been to me. Like, I can't... There were some things that Doug talked about, and perhaps are, based in truth, but there was also some things that lines were drawn where there was no evidence, like assumptions were made. Paranoia is not uncommon with former Scientologists, and let me reiterate that Doug was raised in a very wealthy Scientology family, and so for 30 years, I mean, that's a lot, and he would not go to therapy. He wouldn't. I tried to talk him into just talking to somebody. Oh, you're my therapist. No, that's not right. I failed to establish that boundary early on, and I did basically become his fucking therapist. I'm taking calls at all times. Some of the things that he would be talking about was sheer paranoia. Now, I don't doubt that Karen audited people at, she left in 2010, I think. And anything you can do to get somebody out, even if it may seem like the wrong thing, like, oh, I'll offer you auditing. Well, something to understand about someone leaving Scientology and going into the indie Scientology world is that they're still going to hold Scientology or LRH in high regard. And LRH believes in the concept of fair exchange or exchange. So even if she wanted to audit people for free, the people that she would audit would not allow it because it's out exchange. And as it being out exchange, LRH says you will not receive case gain if there's no exchange. So if she audited people, she would have had to have charged them. Whether she believed or not, that they should be audited and what kind of auditing it was. Maybe it was just her talking. I don't fucking know. You know, I don't want to. I don't want to try to get into that rat's nest that I feel is. Yeah, I feel like it's a rat's nest because the Divided Loyalties broadcast was sort of a fever pitch point at that crucial time right before this shit happened with Doug that I can't explain because it doesn't make any fucking sense. There had to have been two people, at least two people fucking in his ear telling him shit that was not real or true. And that's not a stretch to think, living in LA. But he was convinced that I was OSA and that I was a snake in the grass and all kind of nasty stuff. And that came out of nowhere, and it basically, it came out of nowhere, and it went away about as fast as it came. But once it came, it was pause for me. I had to take a break because, Doug had called me out as a narcissist and making insinuations that I'm working with the enemy, which who's the enemy? I don't know. And there was just really no response I could provide, no matter how I tried to, reason or explain. Whatever question he had was good enough. So I know that to be part of like handlings in Scientology, what they call handlings. You're looking for a specific communication where a person confesses to something, and that is exactly what I was experiencing with Doug in that one conversation where I was being repeatedly asked, what have I done wrong and what have I not told him? Those sound like auditing commands. This was not Doug. This was not Doug. Not the Doug you know, not the Doug I know. This was something else. So I know that there was external factors involved with our bromance breakup. All right. So that's a long-winded answer, but you mentioned Karen and Jeffrey and dropped the poop emoji. So I just wanted to share that. Whitney, oh no, Corn Freak, I'm sorry to hear that. I hope you recover quickly. They go get a Chicago dog. Oh, then go get a Chicago dog. Yeah, for sure. Take care of yourself with the post-op stuff. My song was nice. Well, thank you. I have a whole record. It's called Pain and Suffering. It's listed under Devontae LaFleur, a pseudonym that I used for that record. Larna, Nikarasu, I agree about feeling weird about listening to Doug after he died. It's so weird. I hear someone re-edit his stuff, then I prefer him unplugged. Yeah. Yeah, he's better. He's better that way. Yeah, I agree. Corn Freak. That one day in Chicago pizza the next. Man, y'all talking about food making me hungry. It's 12:10. I don't mind going a little over, and I'm almost caught up. So Whitney, oh yes, how I miss pizza in Chicago, man, with the food. So healing, Sophia. So healing isn't a fun afternoon activity. That's news. Yeah. Corn. I'm excited to go again. Well, I'm excited you're going again. You're talking about the protests, right? Monica was in Chicago. Um, I sometimes wonder if she got reposted there, and if you might have seen her. Lorna, yay for psychology. Maybe put a sign up if you make signs. I don't know. Where's Monica? Witness. Turns out healing cannot be completed even in a 1 hour drama. No shit. Corn Freak. Studying psychology is very helpful for me. Absolutely. Absolutely. Even we learn about a lot of the things that were done extremely unethically studying human psychology, and we've come a long way. I mean, cannabis is legal. Psilocybin is being used in trials and treatment for PTSD, and it works. I know it works, and I knew it worked when I was a teen because I was taking mushrooms and I felt in this horrible, coercive, abusive environment. I would come home after taking mushrooms and be like, it's all good. I'll do my own thing. And of course, the person that was trying to make my life hell it would just infuriate them. You taking drugs? Da, 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 da. Yeah. Mushrooms are good for you. You should take some. Um. Do, 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 do. Yeah, horribly inefficient 1 hour healing or 1 hour drama. All right, I missed the low-key dark jazz in Chicago. Amazing music. Alrighty, well, I'm gonna grab my keef and we're gonna do a birthday hit for Willie Weed. Just smoked a weed. I'll be right back. Well, hopefully these headphones hold up. Keep doing that kind of shit. Alright, so this is a year's worth of keef. And some of it I actually crushed down and compacted. So I don't know what that actually does. And where is my one hitter? There it is. All right. So happy birthday. Happy birthday. Willie Weed. Willie Weed. So tonight, is a broadcast called Mondays, capital MON, capital D, AY, capital Z. It's me and Gapetta, Aaron Owens, drummer from Oregon, survivor, the guy that wrecked his quad. And I'll be broadcasting his feed and my feed. And we're building a base in a game called DayZ, which is a zombie survival game, which I figured works for Mondays because Mondays, after the weekend, the workforce are like zombies. You go to the grocery store, maybe more on Saturdays, but Mondays are the start of the week. So I'm glad that everyone is. I'm honored that everyone is starting their week with me. And Willie, that's gonna get me high as fuck. But it helps with the inflammation. Usually helps with the anxiety. It's a very good drug and it's safe. I probably shouldn't smoke it. Excuse me. Oh boy. Let's see here. Corn freak. The poop emoji wasn't for an insult. That's what we call the LA Poubelle restaurant. Okay. Okay. I wasn't sure. I meant no offense either way. Willie still offered only opioids. Ugh. See, I went and did that facet injection to avoid getting prescribed opiates. I don't ever want to deal with that shit again. Lorna Huddleston and the Goldie shit. Yeah, it's very fucking strange, right? Like she was a moderator on so many channels. The first thought I had was, who's paying her? Because you don't do that amount of moderating without getting paid. So I don't know who was paying her, but somebody had to have been paying her. Whitney, it's crazy, isn't it, Willie? They push those opioids. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You're with me? Yeah, okay. I just took a big old rip. So the other stuff on the schedule, and Whitney, what the 24/7 broadcast is coming on the ridiculous. I'm going to show it again. This is so funny to me because I've built computers and put them in pizza boxes when I was homeless. There's the motherboard, tiny little i3 chipset on a micro ITX with boom! This monstrosity that I bought with the stimulus money. All right. So, yeah, 24-hour broadcast network, music, trauma community stuff. I call it like Oprah style stuff. Except I'm not working with Jeffrey Epstein or something. I don't know. I heard that was maybe that's just a rumor. Um. So Monday through this is something that I would very much like y'all's input on and opinions about. For programming, Monday through Friday, what kind of stuff? Because I would prefer to have like a traditional schedule. I see the chat going, but I gotta finish this thought. I would prefer to have a more traditional, like Monday through Friday from 6 a.m. Uh, to noon, uh, morning programs. Uh, that's generic, but like, you know, news, uh, commentary, and maybe a feature. Now, there's other featured creators that could sign a release and be on the network. So if they want me to share it, all they have to do is sign a release. Um, at this point, it'd be ad free because that's the easiest release to do. Anyways, that's all. Y'all don't need to know that crap. What I'm wondering about is like a Monday through Friday schedule where it's not stuff that you like when you watch stuff and you're like, oh, I don't want to miss this, I don't want to miss that. So like you kind of schedule around it. There's something that you really want to see. Um, and then put those things in like slots on days that aren't busy days for people. And like weekends, you can just play, like on the weekends, you play all of your top features. All right, that was that thought. Um, keeping in mind that I have like music content, I have uh, video game commentary, this whole genre they call tactical, which is a video game genre, uh, survival games, two of those genres, um, 50 hours of music, K-Fuck radio, which I can rebroadcast on my 24-hour network. Um, so I could run that on not just Thursdays, I could run it whenever. Um, and then I have some gaming buddies that want me to spectate some other games. Phasmophobia, which is a ghost hunting game, but I hate horror, so I might opt out of that. I also have another friend who does a lot of like high end. They call it blitzing, and it's a whole it's basically the blitzkrieg concept applied to video games, where you blitz to the end of the game and then figure out what to do with all of the uh, materials and spoils or whatever you have, whether it's a PV player versus environment or player versus player game. So um, there's a lot of that. And then there's an archive that I republished, the Chronicles. There's some short films that I can play from Wildcard Productions. And there's infomercials that Slimelight Productions, which is a Georgia-based um, video creation network. Yeah, it's like a studio. Slimelight Productions. It's a studio, and so there should be some interesting stuff. There's a lot of comedy as well. There's a comedy filmmaker group in Lafayette that has shot a lot of stuff in Baton Rouge and Lafayette and New Orleans that we'll be able to play. I just need a power supply unit for that, and I think I'm good to go. I can rack that in the server, or put that in the server rack, and get OBS set up, get an OS. Do need to put a drive on it, but the media will probably be external for now. I might be able to figure out a way to do it from the network drives, but I'd rather have a Linux front end if I'm going to do that and face the server directly out. I'm completely nerding out, and I'm just going to do this for Cynthia because she likes to hear it. Well, you're not working now? Browser source? Oh, you're not in there. What scene are you in? Huh? Where are you at? Oh, okay. Is it in this one? Yeah. Here it is. Alright, that was for Cynthia. And Lulu of the Barks. Run time 2 minutes 24 seconds. No, time flies when you're having fun though. 2 hours 24 minutes. It's 12:24, so we started right around 10. It's Monday. y'all get to work, get to lunch, do your shit, keep your head down, don't give up, and live long and prosper.